What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Hurt Business Podcast. My guest today is the biggest flyweight in the planet Earth. He is Joe Poirier. How we doing today,
Let's
boss?
go. I like that intro. That was good. I'm doing good.
Just got done, wrapped up a day of training at the Mom's Basement, the world coveted, most famous gym in Massachusetts.
Let's go. Yeah,
How was that
bunch
today?
of killers, in here. You know what I mean? It's always good work. Always good work.
Hell yeah, led by my boy Pete. How was training today with him?
Good. He had a little more energy, than he's had the past few days. He needed to get some calories in him. We stopped and got him a carrot cake on the way.
Carrot cake do wonders, huh?
Yep.
Hell yeah. Well, first thing on the schedule today is March 18th. Your pro debut.
Yes. Yes,
Want to
sir.
know first round Von Flute choke for those who weren't there to witness it. I was there,
Yes.
fortunately for myself. How was it
Hell
for
yeah.
you?
It was good. It was quick, but I mean that's what we're looking for. Couple quick fights, quick turnarounds, no injuries. Bang out these first couple.
How was the preparation for it?
Preparation was great. I was coming off a broken hand from my last fight out at Cage Wars in New York, September. That was September 9th. So I broke my right hand in that fight. So I had to do the cast and whole deal for, luckily no surgery, just a cast for like 4 or 5 weeks. And I was good. Got
You,
back to grappling and everything. Wore like a wrist brace for a little while, but it was good.
you broke the hand in a fight?
Yeah, I broke it in my amateur title fight out in New York at Rivers Casino with Cage Wars.
Was it early in
Yep.
the fight?
It was in the beginning of the third round, I think. I'm not sure. I didn't feel it too much during the fight, but I felt that's the only time I felt like something weird with my hand was at the beginning of the third.
Mm.
And I finished him, I think it was like 2 minutes and like 45 seconds or something like that into the third. So I fought with it pretty much the whole third round.
Were you still throwing it?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like I
Wow.
said, I didn't really feel it too much. It wasn't a major fracture, you know what I mean? It was just like just nothing. The bone wasn't completely snapped, it was like a hairline, so it wasn't anything
Mm.
crazy.
Yeah. And how was the recovery for that like for you? You said you had a cast and stuff, but was it like a long process or were you able to bounce back?
No, it was like I didn't know if it was broken at first. I had it in just like a CVS like wrap up, and then
Mm.
it was staying swollen for a good like 2 weeks. So I hopped on the phone, called my doctor, and they were like, got X-rays, and they couldn't even see in the X-ray actually if it was broken because it was one of like the little metacarpal bones like right above your wrist.
Mm.
So I had to get an MRI, and like they saw it there, and put me in a cast for like 4 weeks, 4.5 weeks, and then yeah, came out of that. Probably took another like 3 weeks off of like hitting, sparring, and all that. Took it easy. But yeah, it's good to go now. It's like it never happened.
Hell yeah. And did you have a lot of experience with broken bones in your past, or was this kind of one of the first that happened to you?
I don't think I've ever broken any bones, but I had hip surgery actually on my left hip.
Oh,
Um,
shit.
yeah, in 2020.
Mm.
Yeah, I had some bone shaved down just so it would roll better in the joint and everything. So
Mm. How
that
long was
had
that?
that had about 6, 8 months recovery too.
Wow.
But
Wow.
yeah,
Wow, the hip is no joke, man. That's like the center of it all, right? That controls the whole
yeah.
lower half.
Oh yeah, everything's about the hips, everything,
Yeah. So back
especially in
to
fighting. But
yeah, man. So March 18th, first round Von Flute, you got on the mic and you said, I didn't even know that choke existed.
yep. So I mean, I've seen the choke before, but I've never hit it in the gym or anything, or like drilled it, practiced it, been taught it, anything. It was all just spur of the moment, getting coached by my corner through it. You know what I mean? So,
Mm. So you could hear your corner while you were fighting?
yep. I heard them first. They were telling me to pull the legs away from the cage. Put his head to the cage. Then they were walking me through like the shoulder pressure and clasping my hands. Yeah, I could hear him through the whole thing.
Mm. And then you pull it off and you seem cool as a cucumber. You didn't like lose your mind or nothing in a big moment like that. How are you able to say so like even kill?
Yeah, I mean, even though it was my pro debut, it wasn't like a a big moment for me. You know what I mean? I went in there knowing I was the better fighter and the finish was gonna come. You know what I mean? I've been tested a lot harder than that fight. You know, so it was
Mm,
just another day in the office for that one. Really, not much to it. You know.
mm. You got better tests, you think, in your amateur, days?
Oh, for sure. Some of my amateur fights were top guys. I'll probably see them way later on in our professional careers. You know what I mean? I fought the best at my weight.
Yeah. For sure you did, man. I mean, you got some I'm looking at your list right now, you got some well-known guys in our area, on here. Do you have a highlight
What's
of
up?
your am do you have a highlight from your amateur career? Is there a specific moment that stands out most to you?
I mean, they were all great. I gotta say, either my debut, my amateur debut, just going out there and performing the way I did, and finishing them how I did with the standing guillotine, picking them off the ground, and the hype for all that. You know, nothing really beats the first time. So that was up there. And then I'd say going out to Cage Wars out in New York and just experiencing the like being the out of towner, being the B side, because I fought a guy 3-0 that was from New York. He had all his wins in that cage. You know
Mm.
what I mean? So just going out there and really being tested was definitely one of the top moments.
Yeah, I mean, what was that like for you going out to an arena where, like you said, nobody's rooting for you, everybody likes the hometown guy, and I can imagine it as somebody who goes to Cage Titans at these hometown events. We go hard for our guys, so I'm sure New
Oh
York
yeah.
brings that same energy.
Oh
So what
yeah.
was that like for you?
It was honestly it's just one of these things you gotta be okay with and adapt and overcome. You know what I mean? That's one of my biggest things is adapting and overcoming. You gotta be good at that in this game or you're not gonna make it, you know? So it was good to feel that, you know what I mean, experience that, and I think I handled it pretty well. That's the fight that we decided I'd go pro after seeing that, you know.
Was it an instant decision? Like, what was it? Did you know before the fight, or was it after the fight that you were like, "All right, it's time"?
We had thoughts of going pro, but we weren't sure. We either after that one or we had a few other fights that we maybe wanted to take as my last one. But after that performance, there really wasn't a need. We didn't think
Mm.
to have any more amateur fights. It was time for the next level.
Who were those, amateur fights that you wanted to finish off the career with?
Mainly my two losses, getting my two losses back, you know, with Smythe and Nate Russell. And
Yeah.
the timing just didn't work out for either of them. I would have had to wait around, which we weren't looking to do, you know what I mean? So hopefully, I don't know what Nate Russell's plan is, but hopefully we see Smythe at some point. I mean, he's going to be a top guy. I've also heard of him moving up in weight, so who
Mm,
knows? I plan to stick around to 25, so
mm.
we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think he said he was going pro in Smite. I think he, made that announcement.
He actually fought Fuller for his pro debut.
Nice.
Yeah,
Alright,
so I think
so
he's 1-0. So I mean, we're gearing up to maybe have a rematch at some point.
nice, man. Well, if that day ever comes, I'll definitely be in attendance to catch that first. I'm sure I'm not speaking for myself. Uh, who we got in the corner there? That Valdina?
Valdina and Pete going at it.
And is this what usually happens? Because I remember at the beginning of this, it was just an argument. It was just like a friendly, they were just going back and forth, and then it led to
It's always a battle down here, whether it's verbal or physical. It's always a battle down here.
what's that like, man? Having a group around you that like they're always going hard for you, and you're always, you got to
Oh,
kind of stay on your
it's
toes all the
great. You
time.
know what I mean? And to have like-minded people around you and people with the same type of goals that you have, it really keeps you focused, you know, and on a path. So it's great. You know, I owe a lot of my accomplishments to these guys. So
Hell yeah! And I see you got some merch on. Quick
yep,
shout
yep.
out.
That's the War Baby merch. Back, you can see it.
Dude, that is awesome.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
the
they're
back
pretty
is
sweet.
sick.
They're pretty sweet. Yep.
Yeah, and I noticed you also had some merch, the biggest flyweight in the world merch.
Yep, yep. We're working on new shirts actually right now for the May 27th card. We
Nice.
actually, so this is some new information where we got the okay from Poirier. We're gonna have one of my buddies go in the cage sometime before my fight with the t-shirt cannon and light off a few t-shirts into the crowd.
Oh,
So that should
sick.
be good. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I don't
Yeah.
think they've ever done something like that before.
I do first. You know what I
Hell
mean? I
yeah.
do it first.
Hell yeah. The
You know.
biggest flyweight on
Let's
planet Earth right
go.
there.
Let's go.
So are you switching up the design? Are you doing a whole new t-shirt?
Yep, whole new t-shirt. It's still gonna have the world's biggest flyweight on it. You know what I mean? But we got some. It's a little different. You know, I kind of ripped off the original UFC logo, so I'm trying to get away from that a little bit. I don't need Uncle Dana. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I hear that, man. But it's so sick. As somebody who's a massive fan of the UFC, I love it. I need me one of those shirts. That's what it is.
I got you. I
Are they
got you.
still available to be purchased? Are they
I think I might have a few more of those original ones, and then I'm getting the new ones. Probably they'll be in like probably like 3 weeks.
word? And
Yeah,
if
yeah. So I'll make sure you get one of those.
I'd love that, man. That's awesome. And if you're in the stands and on May 27th, you may catch the newest, biggest flyweight on planet Earth
Yep,
merch.
yep. You got to be quick. You know what I mean? Have good hands, but they'll be flying
uh,
out.
I wanted to ask, what's the fighter nickname? Is it the biggest flyweight on the earth? Is there another one that you're debating with going with?
So we've been back and forth. You know, all the guys. We're constantly just giving each other nicknames, either goofing around or serious. But we haven't really stumbled upon anything that was set in stone. I do like the world's biggest. It's kind of a mouthful as far as the
Yeah,
nickname goes. You know what I mean? But I don't know. It's been sticking and it's catchy, so we might have to just stick with that.
yeah. It's definitely catchy, but it's like imagine being the announcer and they got to say all these words.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I don't know.
yeah.
It's
Well,
not my
it's
job, so
true. That is true. That is true. That
yeah,
is true. If the announcer's good enough, they'll make it flow. Uh,
exactly.
so you said May 27th. I know you hit me up that you had some news to break. Lay it
Yeah,
on us.
yep. So May 27th, I'll be fighting Seth Basler at Cage Titans Memorial Hall. Um, he pulled out last time. I guess he had a good excuse, so we're gonna run it back again this time. Should be a good one.
What do we know about Seth Basler?
I know he's taken a lot of boxing fights recently. He sent me a message saying he doesn't want to wrestle. You know what I mean? So we'll see. I like to fight everywhere. So wherever it ends up, I'm cool with. You know.
Mhm. When you get messages like that, does does the mental warfare ever get to you? Is the question I'm trying to get at here.
I mean, we go through mental warfare down here in Mom's basement every single day. We're digging into each other, so there's not much that hasn't been said that we haven't heard. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, you're probably accustomed to anything that somebody could say, and then you guys just get on the mat and handle it. But what got you into the sport, man? What was the first love for Joe in terms of athletics?
so I did karate probably from about age like 3 to probably about 11, 12. And then stopped that. And I got into wrestling a little bit in like middle school and early high school. Did that for a few years. And then I fell in love with football for a little while because that's just what all the boys did. And so I wrapped up my like high school career playing football, which was probably a mistake. But after that, that's when I met up with Pete. And anybody Pete meets, he's trying to turn into a fighter. So the rest was history from there.
So why did you stop karate initially? Was it just
It was just I had been doing it so long, it had become like monotonous. You know what I mean? It
yeah,
just wasn't my thing. I was growing away from it. You know, wanted to do like just other things. You know, I moved on to wrestling and then football. I really like the pace of wrestling. You know what I mean? Karate was like there was some like point sparring and stuff like that, but it was mainly like kata and those kind of things like form. So I like the more physical aspect of wrestling and football.
yeah. So then what made you decide to stop wrestling?
Um, Mainly just all the boys doing football and not
Yeah,
wrestling. You know what I mean? You want to hang out with your boys during
100%.
those high school years. So
Yeah, I
it
understand
was
that.
just a better time. But I
What
do wish I stuck with wrestling because it definitely would have benefited me in the long run.
what position did you play in football?
I played cornerback and free safety.
Okay, a defensive guy, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Hell yeah, man. Did you a lot of picks in your days, or were you more like just I'm coming down the line, I'm cracking whoever got the
I had
football?
a few. I love to come down and crack people. You know what I mean? But I had a few picks. I had a few picks.
Hell yeah, man. I never could play those fast positions. I played middle linebacker for most of my years in
That's
football, and
fun
then
too. That's a good one.
I loved it, man. I just whatever the running back went was usually my job. Just go
Yep.
hit him.
Yep.
That was a good time. So then Pete, you meet Pete, and then you're like, all right, I think I'll take an amateur fight.
Well, so before that, I'd met Pete. He was training at SBG at the time with like Jeff Perez, Arthur Mapofu, like
Mhm.
Chris Sniger, and I'd been training there for about 6 months, and then I decided I want to go take a trip to Thailand and live at a Muay Thai camp. So after 6 months of training, I go live at Sitsong Pinong out in Bangkok. It's where like I don't
Sick.
know how familiar you are with Muay Thai, but it's like where Sitsong Pinong it's where Sitachai's from. He's a glory champion and like Thong Chai and stuff. A lot of
Nice.
the Fairtex coaches are coaches over there. So I lived there for 40 days, and you have the same trainer the whole time, and you're living in the camp, and the trainers are living in the camp, and you basically get assigned a trainer for like your stint there. You know what I mean? And my trainer, he couldn't speak much English. He could say like punch, kick, knee,
Mhm.
like harder, water power. That's what they used to say in between rounds. They'd say water power, water power. But so I'd been there for like 2 weeks at this point of my 40 days at the camp, and he comes up and he goes, you fight 3 days. So so I was like, all right, I'm fighting in 3 days. And I'd only been training for like 6 months and then went to Thailand. And so we show up to this venue. There's probably like 100 people there. It's not big or anything. And it's just like a bunch of fighters, probably like 30 fighters, and they just have us stepping on the scale, and then they're pointing to who you're gonna fight just based on weight right there.
What? Okay.
Yeah. So they point to this kid who's around my weight, and I'm sitting in the back room, and the music's playing, the Thai music, and like they're announcing us like all in Thai. I have no clue when to walk out. They're like telling me to walk out and stuff, and I ended up winning a unanimous decision against him for my first fight. It was a lot of sweeps, because I
Mhm.
had the wrestling background, so I was sweeping him a lot. I was physically stronger than him, and I knocked him down in the third with a check hook, and ended up winning a unanimous decision. And my corner was telling me after that he had 30 fights
Holy
already.
shit.
So yeah, that was crazy.
Holy shit. And you won unanimous decision.
Yep,
Dude,
yep.
that whole story is so nuts. And
Yeah, I went out there by myself, lived at the Muay Thai
what
camp for
what made you
about
decide
4
to
years.
do that?
Um, I just knew this is what I wanted to do, and Thailand was the place. You know what I mean? So, figured I might as well get a trip down there right off the start. Create bad habits,
Yeah.
learn from like the best. You know what I mean? It was a great experience. Met a lot
Damn.
of really cool people out there.
I'm curious how from the time you thought about doing it and then the time you actually put action to it and did it. How long in between was that?
Like when I thought about like fighting, and when
Or going to Thailand? Like,
probably like 2 weeks.
okay. So you
Yeah.
did some research, some
Yeah,
investigation.
yeah.
Okay.
Found a good camp, you know what I mean? And the flight over there is no joke. It was like a 27-hour flight.
Holy moly.
So, yeah, it was a lot, but it was definitely worth it.
And you stayed out there for 40 days. And did you
Yep.
fight just that one time or did you do more fights?
Yeah, no, just that one time, cuz after you fight, you got to take a few days, cuz I mean, it was, first of all, it's there's no amateur out there, so it was a professional. Like we had 8-ounce gloves, we had no shin guards, no elbow pads, elbows to the face. You know what I mean? So I had a few other guys from my camp, like there was probably like 10 or 15 foreigners there with me, and guys from like a lot of guys from like London and stuff like that. I think there was 2 other people from the States, from like California and I think like Georgia or something like
Mm.
that. But I had a few other guys that fought with me that night, and 2 of them got cut open actually. So like they had to get stitches, and we're sitting out of training for a good like week and a half, and like you're paying big money to be out there. You know what I mean? So like it's
Yeah.
a risk reward situation because you don't want to get cut or get injured and be out for a serious amount of time while you're paying X amount of money to stay out there. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, 100%, man. You only have a certain amount of time out there, and it'll suck to be having to be sidelined for injuries and stuff like that.
yeah.
So, what was the camp like for you? So, you were training twice a day, once a day? Well,
Yeah, it was twice a day with a morning run. So we'd all, because the fighters and the coaches all lived in the building, and the gym wasn't there too. So we'd wake up in the morning, and there was actually a park across the street, and there'd be hundreds of people out there walking in the morning. Be out there 6 in the morning every morning, and we do 5K every morning, and then
damn.
so right after that would be a morning training session. Then we'd go to lunch and hang out for a little while, and then there was another training session around like 3, 4, and then you had the rest of the night for yourself. But there was always like fights going on, somebody fighting from the camp. So pretty much every night we were taking trips into like Bangkok and watching fights and everything. Max Muay Thai is huge out there, which was like the little gloves with Muay Thai, like MMA gloves. So that was cool to watch. But yeah, it was a great time.
Nuts. Did you have a favorite part of Thailand?
Um, so where the gym was, it was kind of like Plymouth. Like it's like 45 minutes outside the city. You know what I mean? So it was real
Yeah.
like it was real rural and like a lot of like it wasn't like a city at all. We'd go into Bangkok and like have fun and stuff. You know what I mean? We actually went to a Tyga concert. Tyga was out there.
Tiger the
So
rapper?
yeah, so we went to a
Holy shit.
Tyga concert while we were out there. It was great, and like you can get like table and bottle service for like the dollars. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like
Yeah, yeah. Everything is
so.
cheaper out there.
Yeah, it was an experience. The street vending food, like you get a huge plate of pad thai for like it'd come out to like $1.50. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How was the pad thai?
Oh, it was delicious. It was You'll never like you get pad thai here in the States, and it doesn't taste the same at all. You know what I mean? Americanized.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uncomparable. Like Bangkok,
100%.
it's out of this world. Pad thai.
Yeah.
What other good eats did you have out there?
Um, I gotta see their KFC. They had a KFC right next to the gym too, and it was just different. You know what I mean? It was good though. A lot of spice in it. Like their just general chicken was spicy. You know what I mean? But it was good. Their KFC was good there too.
Oh yeah. So favorite part of Thailand was the
I'd have to say the city and go and watching all the fights. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's a fun time.
nice man. Nice. Would you ever go back?
Oh, 100%. We're talking about taking a trip maybe with a few people from the basement.
Oh shit. Oh dude, that'd be awesome, man. The content you guys would create out there would be sick.
Oh yeah, yeah. It'd be awesome.
So you returned to the States after this Thailand trip, and then what's kind of you getting back to the American culture like? How was that transition for you?
It was good. It was good. I definitely was doing the bow a lot when I they're bowing over everything over there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was good. Yeah, it was weird coming back to just normal life after living like that. But I'd still be out there if I could. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy out there.
Did you bring back some of the same rituals that you were doing over there here?
Um, I mean, like, so the gym I was training at SBG, they'd actually say like sweaty cup, which is like it's just like a general term they use to mean like a broad broad range of things, and they'd say it all the time out in Thailand. And when I came back, like we'd say it at SBG, so it was kind of funny, have that similarity.
It brought that back with you.
Yeah.
So you come back, and then how long until you take your first amateur bout?
So I think I was training for like just under 2 years when I took my first. So it was still a while, probably a little over a year before I took my first amateur fight. Because we had been really polishing the striking and my Muay Thai when I obviously went out there. But we had some holes we needed to fill in like my jiu-jitsu and grappling game. So we worked on that the last like year, and then took our first amateur fight, I think in 2019. Yeah.
Yeah, August 24th,
Yeah.
2019.
Yeah.
First round rear naked choke. Sorry, guillotine choke.
Yeah.
Did you know that that's how it was going to play out, or was the whole moment just so nuts that it just?
I mean, yeah, it was nuts. It's hard to even like try to recollect like the fight. You know what I mean? You're just in such a weird headspace that first fight. It's hard to remember anything that's like going on. I watch videos of it now, and I'm like, I don't even know what was going through my head at that point.
Yeah, bro. I mean, how much of a different fighter are you? This Poirier versus that one.
Levels above them, levels
Yeah.
above them. You know what I mean? A lot of the same techniques used and stuff like that. They just come from a different place, more grounded. You know what I mean? More sturdy. Just a better full understanding of the fundamentals behind me.
Hell yeah, bro. Well, that's all the questions I had for you, aside from one thing that I'd like to close the show out on. For
Awesome.
2023, what are some of your goals, man?
So 2023, I'm looking at. I want to take a minimum of 4 fights, so that'd be 3 more. If I can rattle off a couple more, I'd love to do that too. But I want at least 4 fights this year.
And
So
go into 2024 4-0?
4-0. Yeah, I'd like that. That sounds
Hell yeah.
good to me. 4 or 5-0.
Let's do it, bro. It was a pleasure
Thank you.
having you on the show,
Let's
man.
go.
Until
Thank
next
you.
time, have a good
Yeah.
one, and we'll talk again soon.
All right. Thank you, man.